Good afternoon, everyone. At this time, I call to order the People, Parks, and Public Works Committee, and I ask the clerk to take the roll.
Councilmember Monroe.
Here.
Councilmember Gruber. Councilmember Patterson. Vice President Harris.
Here.
President Melendez.
Here.
Thank you.
Introductory number 216, authorizing appropriations for the Broadway and South Union Street Improvement Project. Any questions? Yes, Councilmember Gruber.
Thank you. Commissioner, we sent you a note about this as well. But my specific question is there was at some point seemed to be the thought there would be a third public meeting about it. This is the thing I'm hearing right now from the neighborhood group. There was a claim there was going to be a third meeting, and now there is no third meeting. Can you just provide clarity? Was there once going to be a third meeting? Is there going to be?
Yes, we're still planning to have a third public meeting.
Got it. And when is that scheduled yet or no?
It is not. It'll be this summer.
Sometime this summer. Okay, thank you.
So it would be safe to assume that the third public meeting is to talk to them about which alternative you picked and to map out the project for them?
The preferred alternative for the project was already selected and presented at the second public meeting. And so that was the culmination of the preliminary design phase. And so at the next public meeting, we'll present some of the finer details of the final design.
Great. And I know there are cycle tracks added to this. And I have a pending question just asking about tree removals due to any width changes that there might be. Any other questions? If not, can I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Against? Hearing none, that motion carries. Introductory number 217, authorizing the implementation and funding in the first instance 100% of the federal aid and state Marsicelli program aid eligible costs of a transportation federal aid project, the Broadway and South Union Street Improvement Project, and appropriating funds therefor. Questions?
Move it.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Introductory number 218, appropriating funds and authorizing agreements relating to the Riverway Main to Andrews East project. Any questions? Motion?
Move it.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay. Motion carries. Introductory number 219, a bond ordinance of the City of Rochester, New York, authorizing the issuance of $4,134,000 bonds of said city to finance the Riverway Main to Andrews East project. Questions?
Move it.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Those against say nay. Motion carries. Introductory number 220, appropriating funds and authorizing an amendatory agreement relating to the Lake Ontario Resiliency and Economic Development Initiative projects along the Genesee River. Are there any questions?
Move it.
Second.
Sorry, I just wanted to stop for a moment and see if anyone from DES wanted to just say a few things, since this is a long time in coming for dealing with the river walls.
Yeah, thank you. Let Jeff speak to it. This has been a long time coming, so I think it is prudent that we do talk a little bit about it. Jeff?
Sure. Yeah, the initial project funds from the READY grant were awarded in 2019. It's been a pretty complex project. The two west side projects were awarded to the city. The two east side projects were awarded to the county and town, and we agreed to manage them all. So in between managing them and design process, it has been lengthy. And then we ended up applying for an additional grant to cover some of the overage from the READY program budget. And that was a year and a half delay while we applied for that and received those funds. and received those funds. We're anticipating to move forward pretty readily. And one of the private property owners we're dealing with on the west side passed away, and that estate has been in closeout, and some of those properties are now being sold. We can't get our easements in place, can't talk to the owner until that sale is complete. So our understanding is that sale of those properties should be complete this month, and then we'll be able to talk with that new owner. Hopefully wrap it up and get it out to bid this fall.
Great. It'll be wonderful to see a little bit more protection if Lake Ontario ends up rising the way it did several years ago. So I have a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay. Motion carries. Introductory number 221, authorizing a professional services agreement related to Central Vehicle Maintenance Facility Building 200 generator replacement. Questions?
Move it.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. The motion carries. Introductory number 222, a bond ordinance of the City of Rochester, New York, authorizing the issuance of $1,300,000 bonds of said city to finance a cleanup and site preparation project for the Olean Kennedy redevelopment area. And this is another one where I would love it if the administration just said a few words about this, since it's a portion of the vacuum oil site.
Go ahead.
Just a clarification, Olean Kennedy is not actually associated with the vacuum oil. It's 14 properties that are being redeveloped through NBD with and DEQ cooperation.
Thank you. Yeah, I see. I was thinking of one that's coming up. Are there any questions? Yes.
I'd like to also comment that it's Plex neighborhood. That is correct. Plymouth Exchange neighborhood.
Yes.
Okay. Should the transmittal reflect that? Should we consider having that put in the transmittal, or?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that question.
Is that reflected in the transmittal? That is, since you were correcting the neighborhood, because I see that it's.
I don't see it in here, but if it's
Probably be helpful. I mean, if you want to add that to the transmittal as identified Plex. Just a consideration. What specific contaminants is in that you suspect, or can you provide the report on when you identify what's there?
Yeah, we have investigative reports that indicate that typical heavy metals, low-level heavy metals that are usually associated with previously demolished buildings.
So in the remediation phase, how will you protect the residents around that area? Because it's a heavily populated residential area still.
During the excavation and removal of any of that contaminated material, there will be what's called a community air monitoring program in place, which
Could
is
you
which
repeat that? I didn't hear.
During the excavation and removal of any of the contaminated material, there's a community air monitoring program in place, which measures dust and particulates. And if they rise above a certain level, then there's a suppressing foam or water that's placed down, so it does not escape the site.
Do you have a process in place for if it does reach a certain level that you can notify the community members in the area?
I don't know that there is a process for notification, but the limits that we have to abide by are pretty low, and they ensure that it's not going to migrate far off the site before we get a chance to suppress it.
Thank you. And I'd just like to make comment that I'm excited about this. I remember as a young lady, we were riding our bikes in that area. We probably shouldn't have been over there, but we got over there riding our bikes through the neighborhood, and lots of exploration, and it was always vacant, and curiosity. So I'm glad to see that it's being redeveloped and repurposed. Thank you.
Comment.
Sorry, Councilmember Martin first, followed by Councilmember Patterson.
Can you share more about your plan for redevelopment? What are you hoping would be placed on these sites?
The cleanup objective will reach residential cleanup objectives. So the area will be available for everything from single-family homes and above. And neighborhood and business development is really going to be in the driver's seat behind whatever request for proposal for development goes out after we complete the cleanup.
Thank you.
Councilmember Patterson.
Thank you. Really happy to see that this is going forward. In just piggybacking on what the district council member said for the area, is there a plan to have a meeting at the community center associated with this neighborhood group? Because there's a community center right there around all of the other houses that are there, to really give them some solid information on, okay, this is what we're doing, this is how it's going to work, here's what you need to be concerned about, here's how we're going to handle all of these issues. Is there a plan for that? Are there dates scheduled? Who are you talking to?
To my knowledge, that hasn't been scheduled yet.
Okay.
I can ask the project manager and get that answer back to you.
Okay, thank you.
Any additional questions? Yes.
I'd just like to ask, when you set that meeting, can you please send me an invite? Because that's my district.
Yes.
Thank you.
Can I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Those against say nay. The motion carries. Introductory number 223, authorizing agreement relating to a cleanup and site preparation project for the Olean Kennedy redevelopment area. Questions?
Move it.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Introductory number 224, a bond ordinance of the City of Rochester, New York, authorizing the issuance of $600,000 bonds of said city to finance part of the environmental remediation of the portion of former vacuum oil refinery brownfield cleanup site. Any questions? Councilmember Martin.
What's the plan for public outreach?
The cleanup portion of the project has undergone, during the investigative phase and the record of decision, we've had the required public outreach. There's nothing right now scheduled related to the cleanup alone. However, there will be public meetings scheduled that are related to the West River Wall cleanup, which will come in behind it. And we generally have time on those scheduled meetings because you really can't talk about one of these projects without the other.
Thank you so much. And in writing, can you share a copy of the settlement release and access agreement from 2024 and the 2023 decision where NYDEC approved the cleanup remedies?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes. Vice President Harris, followed by Councilmember Gruber.
Thank you. I just like to know, in the remediation and cleanup process, the trails that's back there, how long will they be shut down, or does it impact the trails at all?
It does impact the trails, and they are actually closed right now, and they are anticipated to be closed through the best part of this year. There will be a lot of heavy equipment operating and large excavations. So for safety's sake, we have to close them, yes.
So is there a detour path?
Currently we have 5 signs, 4 by 6 foot signs. We have scheduled 2 more to be installed at the Ford Street Bridge that shows very clearly where the detours are. There's also a QR code that directs users back to the website and to Street Beats so that we can keep them up to date on any changes.
Oh, okay, so the changes will be something that can happen virtually in real time, right?
Yes, yes.
That's neat. All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
Councilmember Gruber.
Thank you. I think it's a huge win that ExxonMobil is on tap to pay for the vast majority of this. Patrick, I think it's a question for you specifically. So they're doing the cleanup out of their own funds. It's not they're not giving the city money to clean up. Is that correct?
That's right. Yes, that's right.
So presumably what that means is that we need them to be doing things and paying for things concurrently with the timelines that DES has moved forward. What if they don't? What's our remedy at that point?
So there's language in that settlement agreement, and Jane, I don't know if you're more recently familiar with it, but we can pull it out and take a look. That has repercussions for, you know, them failing to stick to certain timelines. We built timelines into that, allowing some space, recognizing the DEC process can sometimes come with its own kind of temporal hiccups, but it's built right into the agreement.
Got it. So Jane, I don't know if it's anything you want to add to that, but I guess I would just ask Commissioner and the DES team, are you all confident with the communication between the city and ExxonMobil at this point?
Yes, we're in constant communication and cooperating really well with their team. So it's been going along, and they're still committed to the end dates that we've proposed or that were agreed upon. Excuse me, in that contract.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions? Yes,
Move
Vice
it.
President. Oh, a motion?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Introductory number 225, authorizing an amendatory agreement relating to environmental remediation of the portion of the former vacuum oil refinery brownfield cleanup site. Questions?
Move it.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Oh, those opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 226, authorizing an intermunicipal agreement related to the Monroe County Youth Bureau. Any questions?
Move it.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay. The motion carries. Introductory number 227, appropriating 2026-27 annual action plan funds and authorizing an agreement for the International Plaza. I understand there's a disclosure for this item by Council President Melendez, as he is employed by Ibero-American Action League and must recuse from the deliberations and the vote. So do we have any questions on 227? Yes, Councilmember Martin.
So in the 5-year span that International Plaza has had folks attend, the attendance has increased very significantly. We know, costs are rising, things are getting more expensive. What's the justification, I guess, for keeping the funding flat versus increasing it to, meet the need and demonstrate, the increase in attendance?
So we pay a portion of the position, and Ibero pays the remaining portion. So this is not all the salary that's there. It's just a portion that we pay out of CDBG.
Got it. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Move it.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay.
Abstain.
Thank you. Motion carries. Introductory number 228, authorizing an amendatory agreement with Rochester Emergency Veterinary Services, Inc. Do you have any questions or comments?
Move it.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Introductory 229, authorizing a grant agreement related to developmental disabilities accessible transportation. Any questions? Yes, Councilmember Smith.
So can you tell me who would be utilizing these services? Are these individuals who would be going to, who would want to go to the local rec centers, or who would be accessing the transportation?
So these could be clients that our person in crisis team works with. Currently, when the team is out and we need to transport, we have Lyft services, but oftentimes they cannot transport if the person is in a wheelchair, and so we are looking at transportation for larger vehicle.
Thank you so much. I'm excited that you guys are even thinking this way. And I understand that because I'm thinking about a lot of the individuals who are on Clinton Avenue, for example, that you guys would be engaging who are in wheelchairs. There seemingly is a lot more than I would see in other areas. So thank you guys for providing this service.
Yes, Vice President Harris.
And I agree with Councilmember Smith's comments. Just curious as to, I see you have 10 members that you're going to allocate the services for. And I'd like to know Is that is that based on what your previous numbers have been, and or you are planning to exceed it, and how will you handle the shortfall if there's a possibility of that?
So in the past 5 years, we've only had an issue with 2 clients, and so we believe that this would allow us to transport more people. When we had the 2 clients, we were struggling to get them transported, so this will give us a security piece in the event that we have that situation again.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes, Councilmember Patterson.
These were clients who had motorized wheelchairs.
Some of them were motorized, some were not, and they were the larger size wheelchairs. So Lyft is able to take some of our residents in wheelchairs, but there have been, like I said, 2 incidents where we could not transport them. They were larger size wheelchairs.
Okay.
Move it.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay. Motion carries. Introductory number 230, authorizing a grant agreement to support crisis intervention services. Questions? Comments?
Move it.
Move it.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries. Introductory number 231, authorizing a grant agreement with New York State Office of Mental Health related to Daniel's law pilot. Questions? Yes, Councilmember Martin.
So I just want to take this opportunity to remember 6 years ago, Daniel Prude was killed by RPD. And since then, communities across New York State have been advocating to transform how New York State responds to people experiencing mental health crises. Having this funding come to the city of Rochester in the name of Daniel Prude and under Dr. Green's leadership is very exciting. It gives me hope. I know Dr. Green understands the weight of this, and I'm just so grateful for the work you've done. And shout out to Senator Brooke, the Prude family, Assemblymember Bronson, and just really excited that this is coming to our city.
President Melendez.
Yes, thank you. Just want to gain a sense of clarity on this. I think I know the answer, but all of these positions that are outlined, I think there's 6 full-time peer navigators, a full-time supervisor, and then an on-call. All of those are new positions under this grant, or are we supplementing funding that we already had?
These are all new positions due to the grant that we received.
And the grant is it has the option for 2 one-year no-cost extensions, but it's a $2 million grant all in. Is there any opportunity for renewal, or is this considered still a pilot?
So at this time, it's considered a pilot. I would hope that as you see the benefits of having peers with our person in crisis team, we will see the value of needing peers, and hopefully that state will consider this as not just a pilot, but something that is important to our community.
And is the state expecting us to, I'm assuming there's reporting requirements attached to this because they want to learn from us as well. So is the expectation that we will be providing reporting to the state in hopes that this funding would continue?
Yes, there is reporting responsibility that was part of when we wrote the grant, and I believe there were only 3 locations in New York State that received the grant, and we were one of them. And so, as you know, we have been doing person in crisis we celebrated 5 years, and out across the state, we have been doing this work, and having peers join our team is going to benefit. Having that lived experience with our person in crisis team when they're out on the streets will benefit the residents as well as the work that person in crisis team does.
I agree. And last question, with the addition of the 7 staff and an on-call, what kind of volume do we think this might help us in terms of number of people served? Do we have a sense of how many more people we might be able to serve with this peer navigator program?
So I'm not sure that it's going to increase our call volume, but what we know it will do is to have someone with lived experience jointly working with our person in crisis staff, that's going to benefit the supports that our clients are getting.
Great, thank you.
Yes, Councilmember LaShonda Smith.
I am just curious, Dr. Green, about the ramp-up process for this. I understand the grant starts July 1, but do you have impacted individuals already lined up for this position? When do you anticipate full rollout of this?
So we do not have any staff in position for this. So after July 1, once we get the grant, then we will be in position to advertise for the positions and start filling those positions.
And that includes the supervisory position as well?
Yes.
Okay. Do you currently feel like your staff has the skill set on board to train and build a program like this, or are you going to have to hire, in addition to these positions, other supports?
So the person in crisis team has had peers in the past, so they have worked with peers. We currently have a contract with Mental Health Associates where we have a peer from them. We only have one because of the funding that we had at the time. And so this will allow us to have enough staff, enough peers for every set of person in crisis team members, because they go out in pairs of 2, and there's 3 shifts. And so by doing this, we will have a peer for every shift so that the lived experience is happening authentically. With what we're doing now is we have one peer through a mental health associate who's trying to work with those after the fact. So this is real-time need, and working with mental health associate now will help us with recruiting and hiring peers in the future.
Okay, great, thank you. And I'm just wondering if at some point in the future, maybe 6 months after ramp up, if perhaps we could do a work session, or I'm like Councilmember Martin said, just really pleased that our city has stepped up and is doing a program like this, and that we have state representation that has allowed the funding to come our way. We need innovative programs to address the mental health crises that we're experiencing. We see all across the country, but right here in our backyard. And I would hope that council could keep a pulse on this, especially given the fact that there is only 2 one-year extensions in place right now. I just think whatever advocacy we can do, and the more educated we are, the better we could probably support you. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Move it.
I have a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Introductory number 232, authorizing funding and agreements for the 2026 Summer Food Service Program. And we have 2 disclosures for introductory 232. Vice President Harris and Councilmember Lupien are both employees of the RCSD, and they must disclose affiliation only, but they can participate in deliberations and the vote. Yes, Vice President.
Thank you, Councilmember Monroe. To Commissioner Green, I'd just like to ask, in years past, the food service program, you've offered it to camps that
Pardon
like
me,
to
sorry,
participate.
Vice President. If staff, so our pink sheet telling us about the recusals say that she would have to recuse from deliberation and the vote, but the sheet I have says that she can participate and vote. What's that?
We're just looking it up. Give us one moment.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
No worries.
Yeah, it's just disclosed.
Okay. Sorry for interrupting. Please continue.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you for checking. You always want to make sure. I will rephrase my question. I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice. Dr. Green, in years past, you've allowed for camps in the neighborhood that may not be a part of the program to participate. And I was wondering if that is possibly to have that done again this year. I know you're anticipating reimbursements, but how, will you be able to accommodate those potential asks this summer?
Yes. So if there are camps that you have that you would like to submit to Sarah Scott, we can look at that and make sure that we follow through on that.
Thank you. And then what steps are you guys taking to eliminate food waste?
Can you repeat that? I couldn't hear you.
I know, I'm losing my voice. What steps are you taking to eliminate food waste in these programs?
Sarah Scott, do you want to attempt to answer that?
Yeah, so it's a little bit complicated. The way the program works, we're required to serve each meal as a unit. So there's not an option for kids to choose the components that they want to eat. We have staff training where we really encourage staff to not yuck anyone's yum. So try the meals, sit with the kids and encourage them to eat. Obviously there are youth that do not eat each piece, and unfortunately there is food waste, but we do try to be mindful of that and try to encourage kids to at least try each element. That's about as best we can do at this point, given the standards and requirements of how each meal is reimbursed.
Thank you. Thank you for that response.
And these standards and requirements are federally based, is that correct?
Yeah, so there's nutritional standards that each meal has to reach, and so they consider it like a unit, and each component of the meal needs to be served the same size portion, or a bag of carrots, a carton of milk. We do try to, I should be careful what I say, this meeting's recorded, but we do try to have options for kids to take a snack later, or if there's kids who enjoy a particular component, those kids can have additional pieces. But in order to be reimbursed, we're reimbursed per unit that's served to a student.
Thank you. Councilmember Gruber.
Just a comment from Vice President Harris's question. I would just note that this is a federal program. Any camp, any organization who's serving kids in the city of Rochester can sign up for summer meals. Rochester has a great consortium that's run out of Causeway and Common Ground. Anyone can go to summermealsrock.org and look up where to find meals and how to get connected to the program further. So it's great that Commissioner Green and Sarah can connect you via the city, but also it's just a note for anyone serving kids this summer to go to summermealsrock.org.
Any other comments?
Just a follow-up question to what Councilmember Gruber just said. So is it too late to sign up as a site this year already?
No.
Okay.
No, we can add sites at any point. It's a pretty easy process. So as Councilmember Gruber noted, there is a consortium. The city's a sponsor, FoodLink's a sponsor, the district's a sponsor. We work pretty well together determining which entity is best to be the sponsor for different purposes. There's just some basic information that we would need for any program that's interested, and we can happily discuss that and talk through. So if you have programs that you know of that are interested in meals, if they can just reach out, they could even reach out, as Councilmember Gruber said, to the consortium, and then we can talk through whether or not their program meets all the requirements. But it's something that we've been able to do pretty flexibly in the past. And it doesn't need to be the entire summer. It could be 2 weeks. It could be a week. And again, depending on who's most nimble at addressing that, it could either be the city or FoodLink or the school district that provides those meals.
Got it.
They are cold meals, though. I just want to make that clear. We provide, and the summer meals program does provide cold meals, bagged meals.
Got it. Thank you. Last question. In terms of the evaluation of the program after the fact, is there any surveying done around the meals or any feedback that the city or RCSD receives on the program?
So we do have site monitors as part of the program. We have site monitors that go out and divide up each of the sites that the city sponsors, and those monitors are city staff that go out and speak with rec staff, speak with the youth, get a gauge on if paperwork's being done correctly, also how youth are responding to different meals. We also have very active staff at our rec centers that provide feedback directly to our summer meal staff. I get emails with photos if there's an issue. We get contacted by sites if there's late deliveries or issues with any of the product that's being delivered. And then, yes, we've done tasting sessions both internally within our rec programs in the past. We've also, I know the district has done some tastings and kind of trying to adjust the menus. I will just be very transparent in saying the reimbursement rates are what they are, and so you're kind of working within that confines. But yes, meals that are very unpopular or elements of meals that are unpopular with youth, they do try to scramble it up a bit. We've also worked, I think I've noticed this before in previous meetings, but we have worked with some of our youth organizations. Our SOAR program, our Youth Voice One Vision program have done a lot around doing tasting stations and having some elements that we can add to the meals to make them a little bit more palatable to students that maybe want something spicier with a little more seasoning. Those flavor stations are available as well at rec centers.
Great. Thank you.
Any other comments?
Move it.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Introductory number 233, authorizing an agreement for youth professional development. Questions? Yes, Councilmember Smith.
Do we know how much is budgeted for this, or the mayor is authorized to do what he wants? Spend how much he wants.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Any other questions? Councilmember Gruber, and then President Melendez.
I don't see 233 in our packet. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, and I see that this is mine. So this is for teen empowerment from the council member item money that we get. Because teen empowerment already has contracts with the city, the aggregate with my addition of the $2,500 is what bumps this up to needing council review and approval. So again, this is $2,500 for teen empowerment, who just this past October opened a West Side location up at the corner of McGee Avenue and Dewey.
Thanks.
I'll move it.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. We also have a tweener or late item on your desk, and this is for a agreement amendment for Primetime 585 Summer Youth Employment and Read Literacy Program, which has been amended here. This is going down the street here.
I can speak to it.
Yes, Councilmember Patterson.
Okay, so first of all, colleagues, I'd like to apologize to you for the lateness of this. A lot of moving parts to it. One of those moving parts was the state budget. As you all know, that didn't finally go through until the last minute. Oh, okay. So first of all, let me offer an apology to you, colleagues. A lot of moving parts to this. One of those moving parts was the state budget. Until we knew what was going on there, we really couldn't move forward with this. This is something we've been working on a while, and this is a continuation of a program that we started last summer. So let me just address the item that I just passed out. It's a change to the transmittal, but it's not a change to the legislation. So the legislation doesn't change. It just clarifies how the money moved last year. Let me tell you what we're proposing this year. So last year, our main goal was just to stem summer learning loss and hopefully at the same time teach some kids some technical terms here. The babies and the big kids. So the babies are the kids who are our Ks first, second, third, and sometimes fourth graders who we enrolled in our summer program last year. Those are the babies. The big kids are our high school students that we hired. And what we did is that we, in partnership with an organization called Read Alliance out of New York City that's been doing this for over 20 years, partnership with them and with Primetime 585, which was our local implementation partner, we taught these big kids how to teach these little kids how to read, utilizing the science of reading. It was successful. I've included in this the outcomes, which is underneath the legislation. You can take a look at that at your leisure. I am going to ask that the chair hold the item, since we're just now putting this on your table, to take a look at the advantage of what we're doing this year. Well, last year was a pilot program. This year it's a pilot program too. But the Rochester City School District has stepped up. Last year it was offered in the Northeast and the South District. And since we had no money for transportation, the program really was limited to kids and families that could find a way to get them there. This year, the Rochester City School District has agreed to transport all of the students to the sites. They're again making their buildings available, and they are again paying for their teachers and the paraprofessionals who are going to be manning the program. In addition, because of the way their building access is structured, instead of the program only being 4 days a week, it's 5 days a week. I'm really impressed with how the RCSD has stepped up to support this. We definitely saw gain in reading improvement in the students that participated. As usual, attendance was the main driver. It is our hope that with the addition of the transportation, that problem will go away. The babies had a good time. The big kids had a good time. And for those of you who are paying attention and watching this on Facebook, I'm not a real Facebook guy. Apparently, it was very impressive what the folks saw. I was impressed with what I saw because I'm a grumpy old man, so I would go there and sit there in the room and watch them. So if there are any questions, feel free to ask. Again, I am asking that the chair hold the item so that folks can have some time to take a look at the results, ask questions, and we'll kind of go forward from there.
What will the locations be this year?
So the locations this year will be, so last year our locations were number 22 School on Hudson and number 16 School and Council Vice President, where's number 16 School? What's that, Post Avenue?
On Post Avenue.
Okay. So
Aberdeen Square.
Right, so that's where those locations were. This year the buildings that were available were number 9 School over on North Clinton and number 7 School, which is over on Dewey. So with the advent of transportation being available, this program is now available to every kid that meets it's available to 80 kids in the city of Rochester, regardless of where they live, who are in that K through third grade range. And our hope is, since we have students that did show significant gain but didn't show enough gain to be reading on grade level, our hope is that our students who participated last year with solid attendance who still need the help will come back and get that help. But at the same time, I know Karen Iglesias is actively working to make folks aware that this opportunity, if we choose to fund it, will be available. So she's out there kind of recruiting right now. So we're just hoping to grow this out, help more students learn how to read. I would encourage folks to take a look at the evaluation that was done. If you want more detail, I certainly have more detail for you. If you want the per student report that doesn't share obviously their name and their address or anything, but shows you where they were starting and where they were ending, I have no problem sharing that with council members. It might make you cry, just so you know.
As far as School 7 goes, it seems a great opportunity for all those kids to have and parents to get their library cards, since they'll be right across from the newly renovated and expanded Maplewood Library. So that seems like a really nice fit there. Do I have additional questions? President Melendez, followed by Council Member Stanley Martin, and then Leslie Smith. Thank you.
All right, so no questions, 3 comments. Comment 1, it was a great program last year. I think that what we saw, not only in this, but other literacy-based initiatives we supported, was a tremendous commitment by everyone who was involved. So that's 1. Number 2, I am concerned, and I raise the same concern I raised Tuesday. I am concerned about our current budget. And while, this is something that I am supportive of, I want to caution all of us, again, on the dais, that we might need to be reconsidering supporting a lot of these outside initiatives at this time. And then the third and final comment is I would be happy to also lend my support beyond whether or not, this council supports this, in terms of thinking about how we support this initiative and finding additional partner funders, foundation funders, because I think we can't in perpetuity continue to fund literacy camps. However, we can be contributors, we can be supporters, but I just caution us to make sure that, we and on the record that we try to find ways to support these endeavors. And I would even say there's a district that's not too far from here that has $312 million in their bank, that we should be having those conversations with them as well. Thank you.
Councilmember Martin.
Just starting with thanking you, Vice President Harris, and also Councilmember Patterson for this. When you proposed it last year, I was really excited. I supported it last year. I'm excited to support it again this year. We know literacy rates are a real struggle for our city, so I find this to be really responsive to the youth in our community and the parents. I really appreciate that you also reached out to the school district, thought through what barriers existed, and I'm excited to learn more about what happens next year.
Councilmember Leslie Smith, followed by Councilmember Gruber, and then Councilmember Smith.
Yes, I do think that this is a great program as well. I guess it'd be interesting for us and the entire council and a caucus to talk a little bit about our responsibility in terms of government and like the types of things that we should be creating versus the types of advocacy or pressure that we should be placing on other institutions. Just as a new council person, as someone new to, being a manager of the city, just really wanting to understand what is our collective understanding and collective agreement around that. Question, I just wanted to confirm that the request here is a total of $275,275. Is that accurate? And does that combine both what was requested in last year as well as what's requested this year?
It's the number that the council member Leslie Smith mentioned is the total amount, given that it's amending an existing agreement. But I believe in the aggregate, the total cost for the 2026 program, Councilmember Patterson, correct me if I'm wrong, is approximately $190,000.
So it's the 128.75. I'm sorry, it's the 128. So if you take a look at the legislation, 255. So it's the 128,075, and it's the 62,940. It's those two numbers together.
Okay, great. If we could just perhaps have that spelled out. And if there's also a full budget, I'd like to see
absolutely.
What the school district is actually contributing.
So what they're providing in kind.
Yes,
so, right. So
there still is a cost for it. So even if it's in kind, I'd love to see a total budget for this to operate this program.
We've never gotten an in-kind number from them because I'm just happy to get them to say yes, that they'll pay their staff and they'll give us the building, and then we're like, good. And so that's the part we run with.
I think if there is,
Because we've asked and they haven't. We asked last year and they didn't give it to us.
okay, I would ask again.
Yeah.
Because if there is opportunity to have this funded by philanthropy, then understanding what the total cost is, which could ultimately benefit them as well, if there are funders out there that can see the gains that students are having, and there's retention and their understanding and growth over and above what you might have if there was just summer learning loss. That's probably, I think, a next step in this.
Not a problem to share the budgets with you. I have them. That was how we pulled the legislation
Appreciate
together.
it.
Not a problem.
Thanks, and thank you for holding it. I'm glad. I hope we have the ability as a council to have an entire conversation about how we want to spend whatever money is in underruns from last year and in the coming year, knowing that the elephant in the room is that we have to replenish our fund balance. It's something that if we want to be able to borrow money as a city, we have to have the fund balance that we need to do that well. And I am really grateful for how this camp turned out last year. I'm grateful for Vice President Harris, Councilmember Patterson, for Primetime 5 at 5 for the work that they did. I was surprised to see it come back again, because the entire point of it last year was to do something with the district council dollars, not to start a new camp. I mean, the concern that I have about the Lane Council has is that we happen to be doing this in the PPW committee, and our DRIVES team runs phenomenal children's camps. Our city already runs camps. There's a camp at Maplewood this summer, a camp at Genesee Valley Park this summer, a camp at Cobb's Hill this summer. And I would love to see us either get the district to pay for this long term, or to figure out, is there a way that we can incorporate some of the literacy work specifically into our existing DRIVES camps. But we cannot become a funder of summer camps long term. We can't. It's not like maybe we can do it, and we can't do it. Especially when the city already runs summer camps that probably, I'd imagine, the budget of those runs upwards of $1 million every year. We just can't, and expanded this year to a third site. We just have to be really smart about money. I recognize there's an appetite for this to happen. I certainly don't want to stop a good camp from happening. I would just ask that as we talk about it and deliberate about it in the next week, that we put some guardrails and say we will find a way to bring the best parts of this forward next year, but we will not be the ones funding the camp. Either working with our DRIVES partners or working with the district that has an unconscionable amount of money sitting in a bank account right now, and not us who doesn't. I just hope we can have that conversation collectively before we vote on this in the next week. Thank you.
Councilmember Smith?
Just wanted to say that I think it's a wonderful idea. I'd like to lend my support in any way that I can in assisting you guys with possibly finding funding. There is a what if table, which is a consortium of funders locally who would probably be open to funding something like this. So I'd be more than happy to support in any way that I can.
Councilmember Martin?
Since we're all here together, how do we plan to have this conversation around how we spend the underruns or how much we give back to the to the administration? I'm interested in, I don't want us to say we're going to do it and not do it, so I'm just curious about what the mechanism for that conversation is over the next few days might be, and what to expect around how that conversation would go.
Suppose that's a question for me.
They listen to you, so yeah.
Well, I think generally speaking, as I said on Tuesday, my plan is to call every single council member to talk about the budget in general, because we can't talk in more than threes. On the record and up front, my position is that we don't spend more money unless there is some dire thing that we all say we have to do this. I don't foresee that, but I'm willing to listen. And part of my job is to engage all of you in understanding where there might be gaps and challenges and or opportunities for us as a council to support something. But again, my general gist, just having gone through the budget process and understanding at the end of it all that we are looking at likely to be $5 million less in fund balance than what our policy would state. To me, that starts the conversation.
Thank you. And last thing, so there are various departments, for example, one that has 40 vacant positions budgeted for, that I'm curious about, why don't we look at that versus, council with one of the smallest budgets within the city? Like, what's the thinking behind, council should be the ones replenishing versus maybe we should look at, departments with significant budgets that are doing things that, other departments just simply aren't.
I think.
Can I make a comment?
Sure.
Yes. There's a lot of focus on budget underruns with not a lot of focus on the other side of the budget. And I think I talked about that when we had our budget hearings. There's a reason why the summary section comes first. That is the revenue section of the budget. It doesn't matter what is left unspent in a budget if we do not have the revenue to back it up. And when there are items held, like the sale of the school, anticipating a certain amount of revenue, then those budget underruns do not exist. And they just eat into fund balance.
Yeah, I think it is a matter of we can allocate or designate, but you can't spend money you don't have. So I think that's kind of where we are as a city in terms of the opportunity to, I can tell you based on our review of the budget, the administration already went through and combed out a lot of vacant positions, pushed out CIP projects. A lot of decisions had to be made to meet the budget that was presented to us. So, but again, I'm happy to have one-on-one conversations with everyone.
Sorry, just trying to wrap this up here. Councilmember Patterson, I'll let you say last.
So, a little pushback. One of the things that this council has done year in and year out, in more instances than we want to acknowledge, is that we lead in this community. And in leadership, we don't always do what's simple, easy, and comfortable. We step into spaces that are not our initial primary responsibility. We have a PIC team. Mental health is not our job, and yet we do it. And we led. We went first. We didn't ask for somebody else. We didn't ask for somebody else's money. We went out there with our money. Well, it's nice that there's some money coming in, but our commitment to that has been unwavering. I humbly submit to you that if you look at the reading results for the children in our city, that is a crisis greater than mental health, which has a much greater impact on our overall community than anyone else, than anyone really thinks about. No one comes to this body and says, hey, our babies can't read, do something about it. Nobody ever comes here and says that. But if you look at the results, it is clearly documented that our children can't read on grade level. We have an opportunity with this program to lead. I agree. We can't keep doing it, all of it. We need to bring some other folks to it. But we have a duty and a responsibility to lead. They're all our kids. And when we look at the numbers, our kids can't read. And if we ain't gonna do nothing about it, shame on us. Whoever else doesn't do anything about it, shame on them. But we're here. We're the Rochester City Council. Damn it, we lead. Y'all follow.
Councilmember Monroe, can I say one thing, please?
Yes, and that will be the last comment, please.
Thank you. Councilmember Patterson, when PIC was established, it wasn't City Council saying, let's figure this out and go pick a vendor we want. We worked with the Department of Human Services. We worked with our team, the people who do this daily, and we created a department embedded in their a program embedded in their department that works well. We run summer camps. If literacy is something that's important to this council, I hear you. You have been a champion of literacy since as long as I've known you. I hear you. The way to do it is not by continuing to run our own camp with our own vendors. We don't have the money for that. We have an entire department that runs summer camps effectively. So if we want to do this, let's do it with them. And the reason why council is the one who should give up money and not, despite the smallness of our budget, is because we don't do day-to-day operations of the city. We are here to provide oversight, leadership, yes, for sure. We are not here to just pick and choose how money is spent when we have departments that do this for a living. They're professionals. Let's let them do it.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I do have one more comment.
You guys are really, really trying my ability to
I'm
be
saying
the chair
sorry,
here.
but I'm not really sorry. So I agree with you, Councilmember Patterson. And had I had an opportunity to speak before you, I was going to say something very similar to, but I understand as a social worker, you know, my heart is for this community, for every single need that we have in this community. And I understand that leaders lead, but part of leadership is also understanding sustainability. Because far too often in this community, we start things that we have to then take away from people. And oftentimes that leaves them worse off than when we found them. And so I'm supportive of this, and also very similar to Councilmember Smith, supportive of figuring out how do we sustain it outside of this, because it will not be able to move beyond where we are right now today.
Thank you, everyone, for your comments. I would like to say that I think at the end of the day, at the very top of the pile of the things that the Rochester City Council is responsible for is our finances. So when we look at any organization, you're only going to be as strong as your base is, and your base is always going to be your financial health. So that said, we will hold this item, so you can certainly have additional conversations if you'd like, one-on-one or in threes with your fellow colleagues. However, this item is being held, and I would like to adjourn this meeting and let us move to public safety. This meeting is adjourned.
At this time, I would call the Public Safety Committee to order and ask clerk to call the roll.
Vice President Harris.
Here.
Councilmember Gruber. Councilmember Leslie Smith. Councilmember Lupien. Councilmember Martin.
Here.
Councilmember Monroe.
Here.
Councilmember Patterson. Councilmember Smith. President Melendez.
Here.
Thank you.
This month, we do not have a presentation, but I'd like to call to attention to my colleagues. You have reports from the PAB board on your desk, on your days, and then we also have a report from the Public Safety Administration. I'd like to say thank you to the administration for making updates to the reports to include the dates. I hope that it's super helpful to my colleagues, since many of us will be out and about during the summer months and may look to attend these items. I'd like to also ask one more question about the Rochester Fire Department reports. And by the way, thank you so much, Chief, for providing the many different events that you guys attend and the numbers that you have included in there. I have one more ask to this report that I definitely realize that I have missed. Fire department responds to at least 80% EMS calls. Is that correct?
Can you please repeat that? I didn't hear you.
The fire department responds to at least 80% of its call volume, which is EMS. Is that correct?
Typically, we're about 49 and 51%. 49% EMS, 51% fire, emergency, rescues, and related.
Okay. Are you able to provide some of the EMS data in your report? Even, I mean, I know AMR handles EMS, but I mean your first response EMS data.
You would like more in, so on the first table there, it shows our overall calls for service and what number are from EMS.
Oh, okay. I missed it. Must have missed that.
Didn't know if and we do a comparison from the year before.
Okay.
Vice President, I don't see that actually.
No, that's what I was saying. I don't see that either. I'm looking for that. It's not on here. We must have got here, I'll show you my file. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we can follow up with that information.
Yeah, it's not in here. So if you can provide that, if you could.
Number of EMS calls for the month?
Yes. Just a snapshot of what kind of EMS first response calls does fire respond to. Just that would be helpful to us. At least I'd like to see that, and I'm sure my colleagues would be interested to know, since fire does respond to a significant amount of EMS calls. I'd be happy to, try to help you work with that. Would I like to see? I'll send that in writing to you as well. That'd be helpful. Colleagues, do you have any questions about the data that you see here? Anybody has questions? Okay. Well then, at that time, I'll head on to the business. Introductory number 234, appropriating 2026 to 27 annual action plan funds for smoke detector and carbon monoxide detector installation program. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Councilmember Leslie Smith.
I am curious if the amount of smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors that are allocated for this year are average. Is it enough? Do we typically run out of them and have a wait list of folks who need them?
The request is the average request. We always ensure that we have a good supply and that we don't run below a 10% margin. We always try to keep 10% or more.
Awesome. And then it says that most of these are going into low to moderate household. Is there a request for income verification, or is it just by district or census tract?
Typically, it's a call to 311, or if someone at times will say, hey, they'll see an engine company or a truck company and say, can I get a carbon monoxide detector or a smoke detector? And the companies will just go in and install.
Got it. So basically no one is turned away.
No one is ever turned away.
Got it. Thank you.
Any additional questions? I need a motion in a second.
Second.
All in, and now we vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. With no further business, the Public Safety Committee stands adjourned. Okay. Oh, okay. Can we hold for a second? Let me recant before we adjourn. Councilmember Leslie Smith had a couple of questions about the PAB report.
Well, for one, I want to thank Dr. Leslie Myers Smalls for joining us today. And I just had a question about your report. With your district community meetings, is there ever an opportunity to show up to neighborhood association meetings? Oftentimes our neighborhood service centers are there with the district leaders, and just curious if that is an opportunity for more community engagement.
Can you hear me? Testing. Thank you for that question. Our community engagement specialists also have relationships and connections, so they do attend the neighborhood association meetings, and they participate quite regularly. So that is a part of their responsibilities and what they do.
Okay, how does it, because I'm at neighborhood association meetings, at least in Beechwood monthly, and I've not ever seen PAB there. Is that a request that's made by the neighborhood association, or how is it a regular or ongoing monthly thing?
Sometimes it's request either on the association's part or our part. Correct.
Okay.
So for Beechwood, that's Kevin Stewart. So I can circle back, but I know that he has definitely met with Beechwood and been over there. That's my mama's former stomping ground.
Got it. And then just lastly, I'm curious if you can maybe talk a little bit about, is it called Nicole, the affiliate? NACOL. Okay.
Yes. So NACOL is the National Association for Civilian Oversight of Law Enforcement. So that is our national association, and they hold an annual conference. They have information relative to best practices in oversight, and they work with executive directors, with city councils across the United States.
Okay. And so your involvement in that, in NACOL, is helping to strengthen the work that you're doing here, given the investigatory rights being stripped. What's the connection in terms of strengthening the work that we have here?
Thank you for the question again. I actually was on the phone with Cammie today, who is their executive director. We have just finalized the New York State Civilian Oversight Consortium, and there was just a few items that we needed to tidy up that will go to their executive committee. And so New York, with Rochester being in the lead, will have the first consortium. So that includes Ithaca, Syracuse, New York City, Ossining, Schenectady, etc., Rochester. So that is intended to be a pilot for the other 49 states. Additionally, I participate in webinars. So I think I noted in my comments that I am a certified practitioner of oversight. It's because of my involvement in participating in webinars, reading the research, etc. So we work very closely and have established a really nice relationship with them.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
No additional questions? So with no further business now, we can adjourn the Public Safety Committee. Thank you.